Hey, I want to welcome you back. This is Dave with Wyoming Old Iron, and today I'm going to be I want to welcome you back. This is Dave with Wyoming Old Iron, and today we're going to be reassembling the ringer on our early 1930s EZ washing machine. I've run into a couple of snags on this. Nothing major as far as the rest of the machine goes. The ringer head was seized up, and I didn't want to split it down because it has tapered pins in it. I got all the old grease out of it, and it's got some really it was just stuck. So I soaked it in Evapo-Rust for almost 3 weeks before I could break it loose. So we're on the way now. I'm painting it, painting a lot of the stuff. So today we're going to reassemble the ringer. This has an emergency release mechanism that goes on the top. I was quite surprised when I started cleaning it up to realize I think it's a bronze. I was quite surprised when I put the wire brush to it. And let's see. These screws took forever to get out. I finally hit these with a heat gun for about 5 minutes a screw after soaking them in PB Blaster for weeks on end. And they're still tighter than I'll get out. These screws are slightly different too, so it may be that one. Yep, that's what it is. And truthfully, I could have this backwards too. Although I don't. Okay, so That's what I did wrong. I put the handle facing the wrong way the first time. Okay, I'm going to change from that hardware style screwdriver. I don't like the way that's rounding out. This screwdriver set here is a Wheeler Engineering. It's actually a gunsmith screwdriver set, but it's got thicker heads, hollow ground bits, so you can get in there without screwing your screwing up your screw heads. Act like it's starting here. There it goes. If you're going to do restoration work like this, these hollow ground bits are really nice for not screwing up these old flat bladed screws, or straight blade, whatever you choose to call them. Okay, so next, spin this around. You see we've got an opening on this side, and this side's enclosed. So yeah, this is your piece that puts down pressure on your rollers. It goes in here like so. And you've got your rollers. And while they're the original rollers, I replaced the bearings. The bearings on these were just shot. They cost me, I got them from McMaster Car, and I want to say they were $8, and you have to put, get this right here, I may have to shorten these spacers that I made. They may be a little too long. Try this real quick. Yeah, they're binding. I'm going to have to I'm going to have to shorten these spacers. I evidently made them a little bit too wide. If you look in here, you've got these tracks that the bearings roll up in. The bearings are the correct size. They roll right up in there. So I made my spacers too wide. I must have gotten some measurements wrong on them. The original, if you remember right, the original bearings, these spacers were part of the bearing. Now, no more than use than this is going to get. What I could probably do, and I'm not going to do it, but what I could probably do this actually goes on second, so let me get the other one. Dealt with here. Let me pull these off for a minute. Go grab a punch. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go grab a punch to do. Well, no, I'm not. Okay. Yeah, I think if I was redoing this to use it, I would have to use these spacers. I don't think they're going to be that necessary. Let me go grab a hammer and a punch, and I'll be right back. Okay. So I went and grabbed one of the old bearings, and the mistake I made, I see it now, this bearing is the right thickness, but it has a spacer, a shallow spacer on this side, a wide spacer on this side. I made the whole spacer on one side. So since this is not going to get heavy use, I'm going to go ahead and remove these spacers and just use the rollers as is. Okay, got them all off. Now the other thing too is you don't want these rollers to go up past this point. So we'll have to tighten that screw down some more. This one goes in here. Okay, our rollers are centered. Now let's bring this down so they're in the opening. This is your emergency release assembly. Back in the day, of course, the early ringers, there was no safety release. And if you've ever heard the phrase, got your tit in a ringer, that's where this came from. A well-endowed women could get their breasts in these rollers, and it was not a good look. So that should be, there we go. Then you've got these little guys. They go up in here and cradle your bearings on the bottom. Then you have your safety releases. And I truthfully don't remember which one goes on which side here. I didn't review the other video. I probably should have before I shot this one, but this is your, release that a little bit. Here's your ringer turning. Now we have another, the paint's still drying on it. We have another support that goes on this side. And then we have the water tray that still has to be, the paint's still drying on it. And it comes, and that diverts the water back into the tub when you're wringing out your clothes. Your gearbox, which I don't have cleaned up and painted yet, your gearbox will attach here. But this is your ringer basically reassembled. It's nothing too difficult. And the other thing we're going to do, and this is not factory original, but I like to do it when we have embossed letters, is I'm going to highlight the easy on both sides. Probably, I'm thinking in a pastel blue suitable to the era. So my wife may have something to say about that. She's better at color choices than I am, but that's the game plan. But if you were to get your tit in a wringer, if you will, that would release your pressure, and as you can see, the rollers can ride up now and release it so it doesn't crush you. So that's wringer. I'll debate on this some more. The mistake I made, like I said, was instead of making 2 shims, this one and this one, I just did 4 that encompass both of these lengths, and that was my mistake. Whenever you do restoration work, you're always going to make mistakes. It's just a matter of figuring it out. So it's a quick, simple video. I need to tighten a couple of these screws down a little bit. And that's it for today. I'm probably a week or so away from having everything ready to start the reassembly process, and we'll bring you along for that. Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying this series, hit the like and subscribe button. Next is going to be my 6-horse McCormick Deering engine that runs my buzzsaw. That'll be our next project after this is done. Thank you for watching.